Over the past 10 years, I have helped thousands of renters become homeowners. Every guest brings their own unique story, but they all have reached the same ultimate outcome: freedom for themselves and their families. My podcast is here to educate and show you that becoming a homeowner is possible with the right help.
Finances were not my stronghold, so I always felt stress at the thought of doing it.
And you bought the house all by yourself.
I did.
Just hearing your journey on what you sacrificed and how you handled it like a boss, respect it.
Thank you.
I'm Darren Walters, and welcome to the Keys to Freedom podcast. Welcome to Keys to Freedom. My name is Darren Walters. Today, we've got Hannah Miles. We've got Coda down on the floor. Hannah, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I am nearly 34 next week. I work as a midwife. Been living on the Gold Coast before I bought my house, which was a nice move, but I'm sure we're going to get into that. And yeah, I've been a homeowner now for how many years? Three.
Coming
nearly.
up 3.
Yeah.
To be precise, 28 months and 11 days since we handed over the keys.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't even remember.
Not that long ago.
No.
That's the best part about the story.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking less than 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So less than 3 years ago, your brother Tim worked for us. And one day he goes, my sister wants to buy a house. So going back 3 years ago, Hannah, tell me a little about yourself. What job did you have? What position did you have?
Mm-hmm.
What type of income did you have? And a little bit about your position back then.
Okay. So my brother actually messaged me and said, hey, give me your pay slip, actually. Maybe you could buy a house. And I was like, oh, nah. And then I said, okay, sure, no worries. I'll send you a pay slip. And before I knew it, you were calling me. But at the time, I was working as a midwife, shift worker, clinical midwife, which does a lot of team leading, puts you in a slightly higher pay bracket. So I was earning about close to 120 a year.
Boss lady.
Boss lady sometimes. And yeah, I had a lot of debt before this. So at the time I was definitely not looking for a home, as Tim just kind of dumped it on me. And my goals at the time, financial goals, was just to get rid of my debt. And I had managed to get rid of credit card debt, but I still needed to get rid of a car loan, which I ended up getting a house with the car loan anyway because things just fell into place with the help of you guys.
How good.
Yeah.
So outside the debt, was there more of a reason why you hadn't thought about buying a home?
I guess I was single at the time and finances were not my stronghold. So I always felt stress at the thought of doing it. I had wanted to achieve it. It just was kind of in the future a little bit further until I felt like I could get a bit better with my money at the time, as I had only just started saving and preparing for that kind of ideal life.
I think for most people, Hannah, and you're no different than a lot that we speak to, is we're not educated to how we achieve home ownership, let alone finances, let alone debt or anything like that. So take my hat off to you, working on lowering your debt, but not knowing how to purchase a house sounds like it played a big part.
Yeah.
So it's easy to stay renting, and it's easy to sit there and go, well, 101 is the bank's going to tell me I need a big deposit. The house purchase. I know my system's good, but how good was it? What deposit did you need?
I needed a zero deposit with you. I put about $2,000 down initially for the land purchase.
Yes.
But then otherwise you guys had helped me out immensely, which I wouldn't have been able to get into the market when I did if you guys didn't help me.
You got in at the right time. Buying back then, it would have felt like you put a noose around your neck, buying a property.
Yeah.
Does it feel the same today?
No. Now it feels good. It felt overwhelming through the process, and I think that anyone buying a home feels quite overwhelmed, spending large amounts of money, getting into immense debt, the thought of whether I can pay this off and building and all of that. But you guys helped every step of the way, which was reassuring and made it so much easier, that process to kind of working through each step.
We try to eliminate as much as we can of headaches and issues and unforeseen. We try to educate and guide our clients through so it's as seamless as we can. Is it a perfect journey? Never is. You're buying a house.
Mm-hmm.
But staying renting isn't a perfect journey either.
No.
So back then, single, kids, partner,
No kids, no partner at the time.
and you bought the house all by yourself.
I did.
That's amazing. You know, that shows what you can achieve when you stand on your own 2 feet. Today's situation will be a bit different because the entry point now is 800,000 plus for Southeast Queensland.
Yeah. And the cost of living, it's just so different now as well.
Oh, crazy.
Your incomes just aren't as high.
Petrol,
Yeah.
over $2 a litre.
It's crazy.
13 years ago, I remember $1 a litre was expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So how high gas has gone just in a decade or just over a decade. So prior to purchasing the house you were renting,
Mm-hmm.
tell us a little bit about your journey of how many rentals did you have? What was the average that you paid? And what was your experience with landlords and tenancy agents?
Yeah. So I had rented probably about 4 different properties because I'd moved around a little bit. So I lived in Byron Bay for a period of time. Then I moved to Sydney when I became a midwife. My family resides between Byron and the Gold Coast, so made the decision to come back to the Gold Coast. Initially settled into a small apartment that I was on my own, and then I moved into more shared living again, just to get bigger and more space. On average, I rented from about $360 up to about $600. Yeah, a week.
Per week. And that's today, that 600 would be 800.
Yeah.
300's 500.
You can't get a property on the Gold Coast now, I think, because I've just got into another rent investing now. But the cheapest we could find was pretty much $850, but most were $750 was a 2-bedroom, but pretty much a shit box. So
And you're lining up with how many people?
so many. There's about 30 couples, families.
30 couples at an inspection for 1 rental.
Yeah,
Shows how strong the investment market is still today.
exactly.
Prior to building, you were living on the Gold Coast. I believe it was Labrador.
Mm-hmm.
You were living with Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Your position wasn't that you could buy on the Gold Coast.
No.
What was the deciding factor to building in the location we built you in
Mm-hmm.
to go, you know what, I'm going to sacrifice today for tomorrow? What was the deciding factor to go, you know what, I'm leaving the Gold Coast?
Well, as you know, I had a massive list of wants, and there was a lot of negotiations that needed to happen, and actually a lot of ego that had to be laid down to buy where I bought, because it was a very low social economic area at the time. And it was actually conversations with yourself and obviously with Tim discussing, well, you've got to look beyond right now. Today you might sacrifice moving away from work. You're not in the nicest area where you dreamed of being, but that's a footstep into the right direction. Once you're in the market, then it kind of opens up your world to kind of live where you want to. And there's lots of things like rent vesting, where you can live in it for a short period of time and then rent it out, but live where you want. So I had to take this all into consideration, which took some time and some negotiating with you, to
Humbling
kind of
yourself a little bit.
humbling myself, because that is not where I wanted to live, out in Logan area. But in the end, it's worth it, because now I own a home, which I definitely wouldn't be able to own in today's market on my own.
Not by yourself.
No.
Not by yourself. And if you did, you'd be further out than where you built.
And I remember you telling me that. You need to do it now or I'm pushing you to Ipswich. And I was like, I don't want to go to Ipswich. I better accept the fact that I'm going to be in Logan.
I think Tim had a hard conversation with you too, eh? Like, I think Tim had to strap his big boy pants on and go, sister, you need to do this. You need to do it now.
Yeah.
And he moved with you.
He did.
And he's still there today.
He is. He's very happy there.
I want to fast forward. So I want to go to the next screen in a minute. There's two valuations we're going to look at, or two prices. We've got a valuation of desktop. Desktop is just based on all the current sales, today's valuation. But we've also got a price of what it will cost to build that same block house today, taking into account the same size blocks further out now, even if it's in Logan Reserve.
Yeah.
So have a look to your left, $800,000.
Wow.
You have been in your property only 28 months. That's $300,000.
Yeah.
In 28 months and 11 days.
It's crazy.
By saying yes.
Yeah.
By dropping and humbling your ego a little bit.
Yeah.
We satisfied your wish list a little bit.
You did.
A lot of what we could. And, you know, we're breaking down, you've gained nearly $10,000 every single month owning your property while you've paid your mortgage down.
Yeah.
Life-changing.
It is. Definitely sets you up to continue to buy, doesn't it?
You're set for life.
Yeah.
You don't move from today.
Yeah.
That's only going to keep going up. Logan's going to be $1 million before you know it.
Yeah.
I said that about Coomera
Look at
a
it
few
now.
years back. It's now 1 million plus easy.
Yeah.
For the, you know, for a nice home. So how does it make you feel?
Amazing. Yeah, it's so great. I definitely know it's going to continue with the Olympics coming, and that's why I've been holding on. And it was tough initially with the repayments and as a single person, and to do the extra transport because I was paying $300, $400 in fuel to get to and from work a fortnight on top of that. But it's all been worth it when you look at what it's valued at now.
And that's such a short term. You've changed your life. You made sacrifices. You've made sacrifices most people won't do. You moved from where you wanted to be. You loved where you wanted to be. That was our conversation.
Yeah.
You moved backwards to go forward. And man, in less than 3 years, 300,000. And it's probably more than that if we had to rebuild it. And if you went to market, it would probably be around the 850. So you're over 300,000.
Yeah.
You'd never have saved that in the 3 years.
Absolutely not.
You know, so owning a property is life-changing. Not everyone wants to own a property. And that's okay. But if you do, that's what's possible.
Exactly.
So $2,000 down, 28 months,
Yeah.
300,000 plus.
Yeah. Incredible.
What a story.
All thanks to you guys. All because Tim picked up the phone and said, send me your payslip.
And, you know, you can give Tim a hug next time you see him.
Yeah.
You can go, thanks, brother. I'm up 300,000 plus. While you paid my mortgage off.
Well, he is currently.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. You know, but Hannah, this is why we do what we do. I've sat down and we're interviewing existing clients and people like yourself to see that smile and little glow knowing that you're in a financial position. So even on a worst case basis, you were single. You can hold your own.
Yeah.
You've proven it. You know, that's big.
Yeah.
So
here we are. Anyone can do it.
100%. So what a journey.
It's been such a wild journey.
Wild journey. Did you think it would be that price?
I thought it still would be in the 700s. Yeah, because just looking at what the market's been doing.
Yeah.
I thought maybe 730.
Yeah.
Was what? So 800 I didn't think would be quite there yet.
Desktop valuation. It's comparables.
Yeah.
So it is a softer market at the moment. But you're not going to sell it. So it's paper.
Exactly.
You've got equity. You've got a property now. As the rates reduce, you've got a smaller mortgage to what it's worth.
Yes. Exactly.
So there's no looking back now.
Mm-mm.
You're going to end up with $1 million property with an XY mortgage.
Yeah. And now we're going to buy another one in the future soon. He's like, now.
Can always assess you. Give me that pay slip. So the big question would be, would you try and do it by yourself if we could do it? Or would you want to buy it with your partner?
It would have to be single at the moment. I think maybe in a year or two it would be with my partner.
If you were my daughter, Hannah,
Mm-hmm.
and we've got a good friendship,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with Tim, yourself and that, I would say do it by yourself.
Yeah.
You have built something not everyone has done.
Yeah.
And not everyone can achieve. If you can do another property, leveraging your property, and it's going to be an investment property, you're going to get the rental on your side for the serviceability, and you can do that, you end up with 2 properties.
Yeah.
You know that's yours forever.
Mm-hmm.
You and your partner, as you get more time, more solid, and you know where the future's going, you can build one together.
Yeah.
If you were to buy another house, let's say it's $1 million, and the deposit was $200,000,
Mm-hmm.
we just pull out $100,000 out of your assets,
Yeah.
and you co-buy with your new partner.
Yeah.
But your homes are your home,
Yeah.
and that's something you need to protect forever.
Yeah.
Because I know you want to have about 30 babies. So you got to have a roof over your head, because the way the market's going, Sydney, Melbourne have been like that for over a decade, that if your parents didn't own a home, very hard for kids to get into the property market if they don't have mum and dad help.
Yeah.
Where do you save $200,000?
No idea. You can't.
I've got no idea. I wouldn't be able to tell you how. And I know people go, yeah, but the old school ways to save.
Yes.
Well, you don't know what's around the corner. So I say live, make some sacrifices, and use a system like you just did.
Yeah.
You would have neighbours that you might have met down the street that put down 20% deposit.
Mm-hmm.
You all come up the same capital growth, though.
It's true.
You know what I mean? So that's what I say to people. I always get some clients like, oh, we don't want to post. And I think a big reason they don't want to post their position is because it's, oh, I went in with no deposit. Be proud of it.
Yeah.
Deposit doesn't mean anything. Deposit just means like if you had a decent deposit, it means you didn't pay mortgage insurance. But mortgage insurance on a property like yours might have been $13,000.
I don't think I even paid mortgage insurance.
Being a nurse.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, Hannah. Hey? Did my job right.
You did good.
You know, but you know what I mean? So some people, oh, I don't want to pay mortgage insurance. But let's say that you come to me, you didn't want to pay mortgage insurance, you weren't a nurse,
Yeah.
but you wanted to avoid $13,000. You wouldn't be up $300,000.
No. Not at all.
So
it's crazy.
So when did you decide to go rent vesting, and why?
Well, I've been with my partner now for 9 months, and we made the decision we wanted to move in together. And I work on the Gold Coast and he lived a bit more south. So it just made sense to come back to the Gold Coast. Our relationship is new. We don't want to buy together just yet. So the best thing for us to do is rent vest. So I've kept my property as mine and we'll come together and eventually we will buy together. But we just want to make sure we have a solid, solid foundation first. So rent vesting was the best thing for me, so that I could cover my mortgage but still have the ideal lifestyle that I want as well.
Well, you're saving $400, $400 on gas.
Yeah.
So you got your brother and his partner renting your property.
Yeah.
You're living in paradise now, back here.
Exactly.
Closer to work. You get the best of both worlds. And I say to some clients, if you can't afford to where you want to be, just rent fast. Let's get you an investment property. So while you're paying off your landlord's mortgage, someone's paying off yours.
Exactly.
But you're getting the capital growth. I can't wait to sit down with you in the next 2 to 3 years, probably 2 to 3 years, and see where your property sits, see where the equity sits. Mm-hmm. And it's been a rent vest situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone's paying off your mortgage, Hannah.
It's beautiful. And then with the Olympics coming, I'm in the infrastructure that's currently happening in the area. I only expect it to boom.
I remember when I think you sent me a photo and Tim and said, I bypassed the gate that keeps people out, but here's a photo of my block. So 3 years ago, there wasn't many homes in that area.
No.
Or in that a new part of the estate.
Yeah.
It's fully built out now.
Yeah. And now they're building a little further out again.
It's not quite Ipswich, but further out.
Oh, I mean, just up the road. There's still some land for sale.
Yeah.
Not far from us.
Yeah.
But yeah, the area's fully developed, and I mean, the growth is still developing, but I can see that it will be an up and coming area in the future. We've still got our old mates that live up the road.
Yeah.
That keep life a little interesting. But yeah.
But you're going to get that in every area.
Exactly. You get colourful people.
Whether you live in a $2 million area on the Gold Coast or an $800,000 area in a suburb, those people exist everywhere.
Exactly. So, I mean, Logan definitely had their colourful people as well. So,
but you're not right in the heart of Logan.
No.
So being in Logan Reserve and on that outer skirt, it's a new suburb. A lot of those people were just like yourself, wanted out of the rental market, in the property market, got a brand new home.
Yeah.
So it's a nice suburb.
There's a lot of families and young people who have got in the market. So, and a lot of proud owners. So it is quite a nice community in the area that I live in.
Have you guys met others where you've had barbecues and catch-ups besides the neighbours I built for right next to you?
They're my besties. No, just them really. But at the dog park, everyone kind of gets to know everyone when I take Wilbur, my dog, down to the dog park. And so we all have catch-ups down there. And yeah, so I've met some really nice people in the area, and they're all super friendly. But yeah, my neighbours are my besties. So
Beautiful couple.
Beautiful couple. We hang out. They have a key to my house. I had a key to their house. So, yeah, we built
It's nice
strong.
when you can have a neighbour like that.
It's rare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have plans to maybe look at another property?
I've been thinking about it. I would have to talk to you about what that would look like and whether it was financially viable for me. Still, because my income's dropped a little because I changed my position since I originally evaluated and got my job. So we went with the cost of living with a slight income drop because I just went for a position where I was a bit more passionate, but that came with an income.
Well, that
sacrifice.
comes with balance.
Yeah.
You win some and lose some to get that life balance. You've moved to get that.
Exactly.
You'll be happier now back on the coast. Closer to restaurants, closer to work.
Exactly.
Living with your boyfriend or partner, I should say. The step to knowing what you can do is exactly the same step as what we did with your first property.
Mm-hmm.
Basic assessment, calculate your borrowing capacity, and these are the facts, Hannah.
Yeah.
You know, and then from that there you make an informed decision. So let's have a look at that at some stage.
Yeah, sounds good.
What is your dream home? Tell me a little about what your vision is.
I'd love to be back on the coast, the southern side where there's not much land.
Yeah.
I really love interior design. So I'm very into that coastal look and natural.
Yeah.
So it doesn't need to be on waterfront, but I like to be amongst a little bit of nature, a little bit of being close to the water, meaning not walking distance, but like drivable. So easy access.
What you described there, I would be thinking if you're looking southern and you want a little bit more of what the wish list is, I'd say Tweed. When I say Tweed, I'm not talking Tweed River, I'm talking Tweed in general. Still underrated in dollar value.
Mm-hmm.
You've kind of gone Palm Beach and then you've gone Coolangatta. You've got the areas in between, but then Coolangatta's exploded, but just that little bit further is Tweed.
Yeah.
And I think there's still some great value there. You buy the water, you buy a river, but you've still got bushland and natural surroundings.
Yeah.
If you find the right property.
And that's where my boyfriend used to live.
Oh, is it?
Yes,
Yeah.
and so we do love that area. So that would be somewhere we would very much consider.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So anywhere between there, Coolangatta's the dream,
Yeah.
but not yet.
Coolangatta's up there now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen.
But it's not saying it's not achievable.
Mm.
It's just what I'd probably do is go get another personal investment, because we can tax minimise.
Yeah.
I've got a client that come through. He's paying $120,000 in tax. His first investment property is going to give him back $25,000 every year, tax minimisation. So instead of paying $120 to the government, he'll pay back $95 or around that. So more or less your goal would be to slowly work towards tax minimisation as much as you can, but at the same time creating that homestead, that dream home, and working towards that. So when you get married and have kids, or kids then married, whichever comes first, you're in a situation that you've gone from renting to your own home, personal investment, if that can be achievable, but at the same time, the big goal is dream home.
Yes.
And it's in sight. It's achievable.
I hope so.
With the right structure. Do your parents own homes or own homes?
My parents have, and they're currently building.
That's right. How's that going for them?
Good so far.
Yeah.
I mean, the cyclone definitely threw a little delay there. But yeah, they've used an architect.
Yeah.
And he's building, and so far I think they're about to do the internals of it.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
And where's that?
So they're down in Tweed area.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bulimble Heights. So
beautiful spot down there.
Very nice. Their block of land is very steep, so it did take a while to be able to build on it and sort that out for them, because a lot of builders don't want to build on very steep blocks. Well,
you've got two things. A lot of builders don't want to build on steep blocks, but find a builder who can build on it with quality and who's going to be there to hand over your keys.
Yes, exactly. So
there's a lot of builders going out of business.
Yes. So they've got an independent builder who's been amazing and does pretty much, that's his specialty.
So what will be the build time frame by the time they get the keys?
I think, well, he thought he could do it in 16 weeks, but then there's been a few natural disasters and a lot of rain, so it's pushed out. So he started in
16 weeks?
Yeah.
Wowzers, on a hill?
Because he was only working on their house because he's an independent.
Yeah.
And a lot of the land, whoever owned it before had done a lot of chopping to start the build and then stopped. So there was some works that had been done. But they hopefully will be in by June, I think.
Yeah, well, nice.
Yeah. So and I think they started in December.
They'll be happy to get the keys.
Yes. Yeah, they'll be stoked.
So when you were purchasing your home, did you have friends go, don't do it? Or
no,
are you sure that's how it can work?
I think some people, maybe my family, were a bit like, oh, is this what you want to do? Are you ready for this step? But majority were really supportive. I mean, they all were supportive. They just obviously wanted to do check-ins as their due diligence as my family.
That's good.
But majority of people are like, yeah, do it. Get in the market. Let's go. Like, you got to do what you can do. And I was the most hesitant of everyone.
You were hard work.
Oh, I know. Trust me. Everyone knows I'm hard work.
We built a good friendship off that, though.
I know what I want. And so, yeah, it was me that was being probably more of the barrier to moving forward. And I had a major freak out, I think, when I saw the loan and I was like, whew, do I want this? And I had to have a good debrief with Tim and I was like, I don't know. And he was like, you can pull the plug at any time. Like, if this isn't for you, at any time you can pull out.
I'll buy it back at the price you paid for it. I'll pay you cash today.
Oh, no kidding. And then I was like, okay, I think you just need to take a breath and you just need to jump on board and go with this.
Those feelings are normal. It's a big move.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, at school, we're not educated money. mortgages, finance, debt. So when you look at your mortgage of 400, 450,000, whatever it was, that's monster money.
Yeah.
Fast forward 28 months, so was $300,000 worth of capital growth.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
So was it worth it?
Yes, of course.
Like you'll never look
Now
back.
I don't even look at my loan. I just know that it's how I check it to make
Just
sure
make
it's
sure you're
paid.
paying, Tim.
Yeah, that I check. But I don't really see it. Like
Yeah.
you just pay the bills and it just happens. And then you like keep living your life. Yes, there's still sacrifices I have to make by being a homeowner on my own. It is a bit more expensive than renting and overall because you do have your costs that you have to pay that you don't have to worry about. You don't just pay your rent and it's done. But it is worth it once you make those adjustments and you learn to live with those new adjustments. Everyone can make it work.
You make sacrifices, but you've been rewarded accordingly.
Exactly.
What was your interest rate when we first got you approved? Do you remember?
I think it was 2.68 maybe, around there.
Yeah.
Or 2.9. It was in the twos.
What is it today?
Oh, it just went down. So it went up to 6.49.
Yeah.
6.49. And now it's just reduced down to 5.99.
Yeah, okay. I think we'll get down over the next 18 months or so. We'll get down to that 4.55, I'm hoping.
Yes.
And that's going to where it's going to be normal. But we're all paying high interest rates.
I think my repayments went up by like $900 a month from my beginning to where I got to. And I was like,
I look at that though, sitting where you are today, $900 a month, $12,000 a year, $36,000 over 3 years, let's just say, for $300,000.
That's good.
You'd do that again for the next 3 years if you had to.
Yeah.
So with a $900 increase every month, what sacrifices or what did you do to achieve that to keep your mortgage paid on time?
Yeah. So I ended up having my brother and his girlfriend live with me. So I did need to have that extra income to help pay the rent. I sacrificed a lot. I stopped getting my eyelashes done. I cut down fully. I had to pack all my meals. I ended up starting to catch the train to work. And then they brought the 50 cents, which was a lifesaver because I went from $90 a fortnight in train fares down to like, what is it? Not even like $9.
Yeah.
So I really had to, and I have to drive for work. So I had to really negotiate. Do I need to drive today? No. Okay, I've got to train it today. So there was a lot of financial things that I cut. I made my budget to the
I love this.
actual brim. Like I literally had to go, okay, I got to call the bank. Can you do a better interest rate? I had to actually physically.
You put your big girl pants on.
Yeah, I had to call and make financial cuts in every way. I was like, do I need to have Stan? Do I need to have Netflix? What can I cut? Where can I make cuts just to make it work? And yeah, that's what I did.
I love hearing that.
And now I'm fine. But at that time, it was like paycheck to paycheck. Yeah. Savings was not something that I could achieve.
You've saved.
Yeah.
You've saved more than what most would ever do by making the sacrifices to stay on track to the vision you had, owning your own home.
Yeah.
And that story is no different to a lot of people who had a true desire to keep their property.
Yeah.
So big hats off to you.
It's done now. Now I'm making a little savings because now they've reduced my interest rates.
Yeah.
But I'm still paying the same amount.
But it's going to keep coming down.
Yeah.
I believe we'll get one this month is what the verdict is. It all helps. But, you drop off, you drop down to where you are, down to 5%.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It is.
What's your advice for renters who are looking to get into the property market, whether you've got no deposit, little deposit, or even a big deposit? Because even with a big deposit doesn't mean you can get into the property market.
Mm-hmm.
From your experience from sending Tim your payslip to now having $300,000 in equity, what would be your advice to anyone who wanted to look at getting out of the rental market?
I think it can be hard and sometimes you don't know where to look, where to go. If you're trying to buy a home on your own, you're up against 1,000 people as well, and a lot of heavy duty investors who have a lot of money and cash that they'll throw down. And so you get rejection after rejection, and that can be really exhausting. So actually using you guys, and I know that this is now a little drop for you, but using you guys here at No1 Property just took so much stress out. So sometimes using people like yourself to just kind of take all those questions is so beneficial, because I watch so many people so stressed and they're like, how did you go? And I was like, I didn't have to worry about it. Darren did it all for me. Yeah. I was like, oh, do you have to do that? Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I had to sign something for that and read through that. And but I didn't have to question it. I didn't have to worry about a thing. I literally just got it given, read through it, was like, yep, okay, understand, and sign.
And if you had questions, you emailed me.
Oh yeah, I
and I
emailed you a
responded
lot.
straight away, 100%.
Yeah. Every time.
I'd be like, I'll be getting one from Hannah. Oh, bing, bing. Oh, there she is.
Exactly. And I honestly wouldn't be able to do it with you. And I'm very grateful for your help. And
Thank you. I love sitting here and telling your story now. If you know what I mean? Like, it's why we've created the podcast. It's keys to freedom. You've got your freedom.
Yeah.
You took the time to understand your facts to get the keys.
Yeah.
Now you've created forever freedom. So,
well, it's worth it.
My advice is don't sell.
Yeah.
Try not to sell ever. Try to leverage, get more properties.
Yeah.
Because if you sell, it's hard to get back in. You've got equity, you own a property, you go to the bank, you're a substantial person on paper.
Yeah. And that was my goal. I remember you said never sell. I regret selling in the past.
Oh, I still regret it today. One property that I sold 2018 for $745,000 is now $2 million. And it was self-sufficient then as a rental. I just one day woke up and had a brain fart. So we've talked about your dream home. Let's talk about your dream life. You're a midwife.
Yep.
You found a very nice partner. You've moved in 9 months.
Yep.
That's pretty standard. Some people move in quicker. Some people take a lot longer.
Yeah.
If we had your dream home, what's your dream life? How many kids?
Ooh. We've had this discussion. I always thought I was going to have a big family.
Yeah.
I always wanted about 6 kids. But I'm getting old. I'm nearly 34, literally next week. So that's probably not feasible at this age. I don't want to put my body through that. So I think I always say let's have one. Let's see how one child goes. But I couldn't see myself with one child. I would hope to have 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But
I think you got to get to 2.
If I have 1, I'll be so grateful. If I have 2, amazing, and more, even better. But I'm so happy. Like, so many people have fertility problems these days. So if I can have 1 child, I'm going to be over the moon.
Decade from now, team, 10 kids, 10 years, 10 properties.
That's my dream goal.
Yeah.
Living obviously Coolangatta or the southern side, Tweed, doesn't bother me. Working part-time would be nice. Owning a few houses, being able to spend time with the children and not being financially strapped would be, I mean, everyone's dream, isn't it?
You're a mile ahead of most. You've got your own property.
Yeah.
You know, even on a worst case, you had your family there. You own the roof. You own the home.
Yeah.
Not saying that's where your dreams stop, but as a worst case, most people don't get to own a home. And I keep saying this in each podcast, the rich get richer, the renters get poorer.
Yeah.
You've been there.
I have.
You know?
So I am, grateful that I own a home, and I'm 1 step closer to, well, I'm 2 steps closer now because I have a beautiful partner, but to having my ideal kind of life.
You've got a very good life compared to 3 years ago.
Yes, I do.
Have you know what I mean? You've got a beautiful home.
Yeah.
Sounds like you've got a beautiful partner.
I do.
You've got a little doggy.
I do. Little Will.
You know, that's living.
Yeah. And I'm so grateful for my life that I do live. And I'm
as
very
much
happy.
as I helped you into the property, Hannah, you did all the heavy lifting. just hearing your journey on what you sacrificed and how you handled it like a boss, respect it.
Thank you.
And I'm sure my team here would hearing that story is amazing. What you thought about and how to save and how to make money go a lot further. Hamish at works for me catches the train too. A, because he hates being stuck in traffic. B, he can do whatever he wants on the train. But C, it's a cost saving too.
Yeah. You got to do what you have to do. The little sacrifices make big life changes, really.
You know, we're 3 years in. I actually didn't think it was 3. I thought it was 4. Because it was 2021, but we secured in 2021. Land didn't register, remember? It took a little bit longer to register.
Yes.
And then we built it for you.
Yeah.
And then we pushed to hand over the house just before Christmas.
17th of December, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so close to Christmas. And then I moved in January.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on the episode of Hannah Miles.
You're welcome.
Keys to Freedom. Hearing your journey warms my heart. I love hearing what you've done, what you've achieved, but to know that you put yourself in a personal financial situation for the best of the future to come, crazy. So
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Darren Walters.
Give me a hug. It's been amazing.
Thank you. Thanks for getting me in the market.